as you were hearing both our panelists from across the globe in 2 different places in America, this 10% tariff, and of course, this is uncertainty. The gold prices has gone up. In a time of uncertainty, gold touched almost $4,600 or for an ounce on Monday, while the silver price rose to the peak of $94 an ounce. So precious metals are seen as a safer asset to hold in times of uncertainty, given the fact that both of the gold and silver prices have gone up in the past year. And it's not only in the United States, it's all around the globe. Even in Bangladesh,
it is a global price.
It's a global issue. And even in Bangladesh, the price had gone up. But coming back to the tariff issue, initially when Donald Trump had started his second term, he had tariffed 70 nations with various tariff packages depending on what their outreach was, what the individual nation was doing on a global stage. Of course, as a mean to strain relationships with allies. I can give an example. Because of the Russian crude export towards India and India's understanding with Vladimir Putin, India's support to the economy of Russia, the war in Ukraine has ravaged on. That is just a basic mere example. So, of course, Donald Trump had given his reaction to hoist a tariff package and, of course, sanctioning Russian oil. But Keir Starmer is ready to give Downing Street a speech regarding the 10% implied by Donald Trump. Of course, any nation in support of Greenland's sovereignty will be faced with this 10%. I want to understand the economic perspectives from your analysis.
Very interesting, you see. The history has such great ironies in a matter of 75-80 years, because when NATO was founded at the after the end of the Second World War, America was in the lead, and they took all these European countries, and America led the thing in many ways, funding and everything. Purpose was to stop Russia. China, of course, later became an important power, but stop Russia from expanding its power and conquering the rest of European countries and other countries also. So, America is leading and the rest of Europe is following them to stop Russia from expanding its sphere of influence and communization, sort of say. But the irony is that today that Russia is gradually occupying one of these European countries, Ukraine, and Donald Trump, the American president, has almost declared a war against the European members of NATO. So, see, now Russia is attacking one of the members of Europe, and Donald Trump is at war, almost at war now. He says 10% additional duty. And Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, he is addressing his country. We knew of this. So, Europe is getting prepared, and America is there. Although the other Indiana University professor, he said there has been opinion polls taken both in America and in Greenland. Greenland, only 56,000 persons live there, and overwhelmingly, both in the United States and in Greenland, overwhelmingly they opposed Donald Trump's policies. For purchase, they oppose it. For outright occupation, they oppose it still more, and oppose it by a very wide margin. I do not at the moment remember the exact number, but very wide margin. I have seen it with my own eyes on the TV screens. So, the people of both Greenland and the United States, for which Donald Trump wants to acquire this country by force if necessary, he said, they are opposed to it, and he will still do it. So, think of, even I believe that Donald Trump might be facing also internal problems. The American people will not want it, American politicians will not want it, and you started at the beginning of this program that a joint group of senators and members of the House of Representatives,
right,
they came from United States, and they said they were very polite that we will try to convince the president that this is not, etc., etc., but they are opposed to it very seriously. So, this is the historical irony that he is doing this, but I think he is not all that. I think if somebody now suspects that he is carrying out the job of Russia for Russians, because he has his own business, his family has business there in Russia. So, he is trying to protect that side of his interests.
And not only in Russia, he also has it in Saudi Arabia. He has interests in Saudi
all
Arabia.
of these countries.
Of course, one cannot imagine the US president ordering the US military to go into Saudi Arabia to rob MBS and then to plunder its oil. But they would do the very same thing with Venezuela.
First of all, there are rules of war in America, constitutional obligation that if there is an emergency, the president can immediately ask for a strike or ask for stoppage. But he must obtain congressional approval for a war. He has not done it anywhere till now.
Of course.
He cannot do this, and he cannot do a lot of things that he is doing, and he is facing impeachment. There are things are moving, so I don't know. Let us see where it all ends.